What is going on, everybody, and welcome to the vlog for the week of November 5th, 2018. I hope you're all doing very well. Anyways, the day I'm recording this is actually election day here in the States. As you can see, I voted, and I would encourage you to do the same and go vote, but by the time you're seeing this, it's too late. Election day has already passed. Or you're not even American. Shout out to all the international viewers. But in all seriousness, I do encourage you to go out and vote and be a part of your local government if you have the ability to do so. And as important as it is to go vote and get involved in your government, that's not the topic of today's video. In today's video, I want to talk about what it really takes to take a game jam game and turn it into a full release game. Now, making a game jam game isn't an incredibly difficult thing. Most of the game jams that I do are over the course of 48 hours, and I'm definitely not even working all those 48 hours because there's still times where I eat and sleep, and I still like to keep up my workout routine. So I mean, if you do the math, that probably comes out to be anywhere between, I don't know, 20 and 30 hours of actual working on the game, which isn't really a whole lot of time, especially if you're packing it into one weekend. And at the end of that time, you basically have a complete project, something that you could submit to the game jam and other participants can play it and rate it, and it's a fully functioning game and everything like that. So can you just go ahead and release it right away? Well, maybe, but probably not, and I'm going to tell you why. For starters, usually everything in a game jam game is rushed. You know, you don't have a whole lot of time, so you're just trying to get as much bang for your buck. So you're kind of rushing through things, you're making sloppy art, you're making sloppy code. Basically everything you're doing is just good enough. And that's definitely fine for a game jam game, but if you're planning to make a full release of the game, you're definitely going to want to step up the quality of some of your artwork, definitely clean up some of your programming, make things a little bit more efficient. Definitely go through and comment the code, so if you ever have to do debugging later, you can easily kind of search through everything and find out what you were trying to do at that time. And then you're probably also going to want to make tweaks to the gameplay to make it play a little bit better and make it a little bit more balanced. And then you can already start to see how these things just start adding up and adding up a bunch of time. However, that's likely not even the bulk of what you're going to need to do. There's still a bunch more that needs to be done. Most of these things are related to sorts of quality of life things. So in a game jam game, people are pretty forgiving if you don't have like a pause menu with all the different effect controls and different sliders and everything like that. But when you make a full release of your game, these are the things that you need in your game. People are going to be expecting a pause menu where they can change the audio volume versus the music volume and everything like that. And then so you're going to need to design simple and intuitive menus that people can easily navigate through. And then you're going to need to program all these things and make sure everything works properly. Also, if the platform you're building your game for has achievements or trophies or something like that, you're going to need to implement those into your game and program them, and again, make sure they work properly. I guess the point I'm trying to make is your core game is just a small portion of what you need to release your game. There's really a whole lot more that you need to do to prepare your game for a full release. And that's not even going down the rabbit hole of marketing and building a website for your game and a store page and getting screenshots and videos and making a trailer. And I'd just like to leave you with this little story from when I was in college that kind of summarizes this whole thing pretty well. So during one of my winter breaks, I started messing around with some Google Cardboard stuff. And if you don't know what Google Cardboard is, it's basically something that kind of looks like this. This is my The Simpsons one. And you actually slide your phone in here and you use this as basically a cheap little VR headset. And you know, you can look around and play games and watch videos in VR, and it's super cool. There's also like a little button here at the top. So I had made a game for it, and basically, you know, you put your phone in here and you look around in this little world, and there's a bunch of targets, and when you push that button on the top, it shoots out little shots at all these targets. And when you hit the target, it, you know, increased your score. So again, over this little winter break, I had basically came up with this little tech demo. And when I got back to school after break, I was showing off this little tech demo I had made to all my friends. And of course, they all thought it was super cool because they hadn't really used VR or anything like that before. So they were just like, hey, you know, you should release this onto the Google Play Store. And I'm like, yeah, you know, that seems like a pretty cool idea. I've got like pretty much a complete game right here already. Just need to like throw a couple menus on it and dump it on the store. That'd be good, right? So anyways, I kind of start planning out this full release a little bit, and I start just like making a list of all the things that I need to do in order to make it a full release. Such as, you know, make an actual game mode where there's like a time limit, and at the end there's a score, and then that score will post to a leaderboard, stuff like that. And so I'm going through this whole thing, and I'm just like, you know, writing everything out, and then I kind of start to realize like, wow, I guess this is a little bit more work than I thought it was going to be. So over the course of the next couple weeks, I think it took me about another 2 weeks to actually finish the game. And get it to a full releasable state. You know, I'd be working on it a bunch, and my friends who had encouraged me to actually put a release of the game out, you know, would walk into my room while I'm working on it, and they're kind of just like, wow, this is, there's a lot more work that needed to be done than just dumping it on the store. And, you know, I think that whole experience really taught me that just making the game, the little prototype, the tech demo, whatever you have, is just a really small portion of what actually goes into game development. You know, when you think of game development, you think of, oh, they're just making the game, you know? But, you know, really there's a whole lot more to that. And for all you younger developers, I just want you all to keep that in mind, that just because you have the core thing in place doesn't mean you're necessarily close to finishing. That's a very important thing, obviously, and you want to focus, I'd say, most of your efforts into making your game good. But definitely do not neglect all the other things around it, because a lot of times all the other things around it can end up taking a lot more time than you think, and maybe even a lot more time than it took you to make that initial prototype of the game. Anyways, I guess the reason that I'm ranting about all this is because I'm working on making a full release of a Game Jam game, and there are a bunch of things that I need to do still. I'm making very good progress, but most of the work has been outside of stuff that I did on the Game Jam. Like, yeah, I cleaned up a little bit of the code, kind of made the controls work a little bit better on mobile devices, but as far as the core gameplay goes, I haven't really changed much. I mean, most of the stuff I've been working on has been stuff outside of the game. So anyways, I'm eager to finish that up, get the game released, and then I can continue to add things like better art assets and make improvements to the gameplay to make it a little more interesting as I go from here. So anyways, that's just about all I have to say in today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, make sure you leave this video a like. Also, feel free to subscribe to the channel if you have not done so already. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or other feedback, feel free to drop it down in the comments section below. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one. Go vote.